I'm Geoff Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, all roads in DC Rebirth have been leading to this moment, to Doomsday Clock issue number 1. Who stole 10 years from the DC universe? Who has been controlling our heroes from afar? And what sort of universe was that person from? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? So as the comic opens, I am shocked to discover we are in the universe of the Watchmen. Where does that exist in the DC cosmology? We don't know. All I know is it's really important that you read the original comic or at least saw the movie, because if not, you're going to be totally lost. If you'll recall, at the end of the original Alan Moore story, Ozymandias had pulled off a crazy scheme to kill millions in order to save billions and usher in a new era of peace on Earth. That plan worked, kind of, sort of. You see, now it's the year 1993, and once again the world is teetering on the edge of destruction. Civil upheaval is at an all-time high, and just to make matters worse, Russia is acting a fool again, and nuclear war is right around the corner. Why geez, this isn't reminiscent of anything that's happening in the news right now, is it? Ozymandias is also a wanted criminal with a huge bounty on his head and is being used as a scapegoat by the new president who swept into office. And at the heart of it all, we have Rorschach, the man on the street who is currently breaking into a high-security prison to try and help a person escape. Only, as we quickly discover, this Rorschach is not Walter Kovacs. Again, this is canon with the ending of Watchmen. The person Rorschach is trying to get out is a woman by the name of Marionette, clearly a reference to Julie of the duo Punch and Julie from the old Charleston comics. Rorschach says that if she and later her villainous husband the Mime can help him and his partner in their endeavor, he'll be sure to help them find their missing son. I gotta admit, I actually really like the Mime. He adds a bunch of much needed comedy to this story. He's a Joker level supervillain, but all of his weapons are invisible. Rorschach leads Marionette and Mime through the sewers and into a very familiar base of operations. Yep, that's right, it's Night Owl's old place. Only Dan Dryberg isn't there right now. The man in the chair is none other than Ozymandias himself, Adrian Veidt. Rorschach and him are working together right now on their newest endeavor. And what is this endeavor? Oh, you know, nothing too big or anything, just finding God, by which of course they mean interchangeably with Dr. Manhattan, who, if you'll recall, had left the Watchmen universe at the end of the original story to quote-unquote find a less complicated universe. Now where, oh where could that blue super god have gone? Well, we have some theories, mainly the DC universe, because from there we flash on over to a story involving a young Superman and Ma and Pa Kent. This is actually really interesting, as Ma and Pa Kent don't get referenced so much anymore, mainly because they died in the New 52 continuity, despite the fact that much of Superman's life had been put back to the status quo. As we discover, this flashback isn't a flashback at all, it's a nightmare Superman is having about the night his parents died. This is very interesting because, as Superman puts it, he never has nightmares. Why, it's almost as if some otherworldly force is trying to influence him some way as the comic ends. So that was Doomsday Clock number 1, everybody, and I gotta admit, I had no idea what to expect going into this comic, and I was pleasantly surprised. This is a true blue, no messing around sequel to Watchmen, what many people consider to be the Citizen Kane of comic books. There's about a million different places and a million different ways that this could have felt tacky or gross, but Geoff Johns, to his credit, is able to sidestep a lot of potential potholes, delivering us a continuation of the Watchmen story that feels organic and also, while definitely reminiscent of Alan Moore, isn't just totally taking all the notes from him. Comic looks great too, but you already knew that. I think perhaps the most ballsy choice they make is that this is an entire Watchmen-centric story with Superman only showing up at the end. I mean, Watchmen is obviously required reading for any true blue comic fan. Most people have probably seen the movie or at least somewhat aware of the Watchmen story. It just puts a hell of a lot of faith in your average comic reader to be up to date and know what's going on for a story that's so old at this point. Overall, I'd give this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this first issue, and it's made incredibly clear that the best is still yet to come, and I cannot wait to see where this story goes. So that's Doomsday Clock, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of the other videos I have available from my channel. Then you can follow me on social media at Geoff Joel, so you're always up to date on when the newest video is coming out. Then there's my Patreon page. Patreons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and they can do so for as little as $1 a month, and it would be most appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been Geoff Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.